So I love having a little play around with colour, and over the past 2 years I've experimented with watercolour paint and watercolour pencils in all sorts of different ways. So when one of my viewers commented suggesting I should try watercolour pencils with sandpaper, I immediately added it to the to-do list. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm using 190 GSM watercolour paper, and I've just taped it down with a little bit of masking tape. Now I have a very small selection of watercolour pencils. Yes, this really is all I have. It's a little bit meagre, I know, but a few years ago I bought a full set of watercolour pencils, Shaw and Marsh, and they were shockingly awful, and most of them went straight in the bin. I wouldn't have even given them away. So I'm working with 1 Caran d'Ache, 3 Gold Faber Aquas, and just 1 random survivor from that cheap set of Shaw and Marsh watercolour pencils that somehow escaped disposal. So the concept itself is simple: watercolour pencils and some sandpaper. In this video I try out a couple of different techniques to see which one works best, so do feel free to use the chapters and timestamps that I've popped in the video description, or you can sit back and watch the whole thing. So to start with, I'm using a P60 grade sandpaper. And I just started by scratching the pencils against the sandpaper and just letting the coloured dust fall onto the page. And because this is my first experiment, I honestly had no idea how much dust I should be using. So this part was very much a trial and error experiment. So it was a very random process. I was just moving my hands and the pencils around the page, just letting the dust fall wherever it wanted to fall. What I noticed pretty quickly was that it takes quite a few scrapes before any of the colour actually comes off the sandpaper. And once you've scrubbed in one spot for a little while, the sandpaper becomes smoother naturally, so you want to keep moving your pencil to a fresh area of the sandpaper. I also found that if you flicked the sandpaper, you got a little bit of extra dust come off, so that's what I did. Also, the pencils run down very, very quickly on this P60 paper. Oh, and one other very, very important tip: don't sneeze. This can get quite messy, so if you're trying this yourself, definitely put some paper down just to protect your workspace and try not to get it all over the place. So at this point I've got a lot of dust on the page, and I've got a small plastic spray bottle filled with just tap water. It's a little bit dribbly, but this is the fun part. Spray away. Spray away. So the droplets were a little bit large with my first spray, so I did try adjusting it for a slightly finer mist, which this bottle really didn't want to do very well, but it's still better than those giant splats I got at the beginning. And the colour just burst out of the dust as I sprayed. I didn't want to overdo the water on this one. This is only 190 GSM paper, so I put that one to one side, and then I tried reversing the process. Water first, dust second. So using the same spray bottle, I gave the page a fairly even misting of water, just enough that I could see the water on the page, but so it wasn't pooling. And then I repeated the same process with the sandpaper and the pencils, just scraping the pencils over the sandpaper and letting the dust just fall directly into those beads of water. Now I'm not sure if I used less dust this time or if adding the water first made the big difference, but this version, it just felt much more delicate and subtle. So I left those to dry, and I also prepared a couple more sheets using the water first method. This has very quickly become my favourite method. So one sheet I masked into halves and another I masked into 8 sections just using some washi tape. And I repeated the process once again, water first, and then scraping the watercolour pencils against the sandpaper, just allowing the dust to fall in those little droplets of water. So another thing I should mention, on all of these sheets, once they're dry, there's still quite a lot of dust sitting on top of the paper that hasn't soaked in. I tried to just puff it away, but it didn't work. And then I tried a clean dry brush, and that just wiped the pigment across the page. That wasn't great. And then I tried tilting and shaking the paper. This worked, but then I had a desk covered with pigment. So eventually I took the boards outside and gave them a good bang on the concrete to just shake off that excess dust and hopefully let the rain wash it away. Hopefully that wasn't too unfriendly to the garden or the patio. So now I've got these lovely backgrounds, what to do with them? Well, I thought I would try just Zentangling them up, and I thought some sea-themed patterns would be quite nice here. So I started with the page that I divided up into 8 squares or rectangles. And these were a lot of fun, and I'm still trying to progress these designs a little bit further right now because, yeah, they're just lovely to do. When I tried to scale it up on the larger pages, however, things didn't quite go to plan. So firstly, I must just say that I found it harder to draw my pencil guidelines on the page, and I wasn't really confident that they'd erase away cleanly later. Secondly, neither my gel pens nor my Unipin pens really enjoyed drawing over the watercolour pencil backgrounds. They kept picking up pigment on the ends and clogging up, which was, to be quite honest, it was quite annoying actually. So if anyone's had any luck with any other kinds of pens, please do let me know in the comments below, because I'd be very, very interested to hear what you're using if you're drawing over these watercolour pencil backgrounds. And the third thing is, when I coloured directly onto the page with the pencils, all was good, but when I added the water, what I didn't realise, and perhaps I should have done, was that my brush would pick up all of the underlying colour and it reblended it into the new colour that I'd put on the page. So instead of the transparent kind of speckled effect I was hoping for, I ended up with some quite muddy washes. Probably a total newbie error because I'm no expert in watercolour pencils, but it was still a little bit frustrating. I don't know if there's anything that you can do to kind of seal that layer before you paint another layer on top. Again, if you've got any hints or tips, do drop them in the comments below, because they'll not only help me, but they'll help other people that are watching this video as well. Anyway, I hadn't noticed this blending, this reblending happening on the smaller test pieces. Either way, the results were a little bit disappointing. So I did try to rescue them by overpainting with some gold ink and paint. One of them I did with the gold Daler Rowney FW ink, which did kind of help, and the other one was the Winsor & Newton gold gouache, which was far more effective. But on this darker piece, everything feels way too heavy, and I think it needs some kind of white or something to kind of lift it out of the page. And on the lighter piece, strangely, the colours just weren't bold enough to kind of pull the pattern forward. So even though these were not the best pictures I overdrew on the top, this was quite a fun experiment. I genuinely really love these random textured backgrounds, but I'm just not sure how to use them in a way that kind of suits my style. I didn't like how difficult they were to draw over, and I haven't figured out the best way to make the drawing stand out. That said, and regular viewers of my channel will know, I don't give up that easily. It might take me a few months or even a few years, but I'm pretty determined to kind of master things, or at least get to a point where I think, yeah, I can do that. So if you've had a go at this successfully yourself, do let me know how it got on and if I've missed something, because it's quite likely that I have. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to catch up with you all again soon.